right guys, so we're doing something a little bit different today. I'm putting the bows away. I'm here with Mickey Schuch, who is host.
Nice.
I got it.
You nailed it.
Host of the Higher Line podcast and the Carry Trainer YouTube channel. So first of all, just what do you do? Why are you here? Why are you in Idaho?
You invited me over.
I did do that.
You invited me over. Well, today we're going to shoot some pistols.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I teach people to shoot firearms around the context of self-protection, self-defense. So marksmanship is marksmanship, but we're going to work on using the pistols that are on our hips today to develop skills that could help you protect your family from some wild animal out here or a wild two-legged animal.
Yep. Pistols and really modern firearms are something that I'm not super well schooled in. I've been around shotguns my whole life, deer rifles to a certain extent, but semi-auto pistols and AR type stuff, kind of a foreign thing to me. So I'm excited today about just learning about how to handle these things. Let's see if I can hit anything.
I bet you can.
And to have Mickey here to make sure that I do it the right way.
Cool.
Ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Freaking nailed it.
Nailed it! Something I think worth noting for anybody using firearms, there is never any reason to point that at yourself or anybody else that you care about. Right? So cardinal rules of safety. And for when we're carrying guns, always keep a gun unloaded till you're ready to shoot. Well, I say keep it unloaded till you're ready to carry it or use it. So we're keeping them loaded. Never point at anything you're not willing to shoot, kill, or destroy. Know your target, what's beyond. Well, bullets and arrows don't just go through things and straight on. They do all kinds of crazy things. So know your target and what's around it. We've got a steel target downrange from my friends at TA Target. So, and you've got a nice pile of dirt behind it, we know we've got a safe area here and we're going to be good. And keep our finger off the trigger. The thing is though, other things can actuate triggers. Holsters, clothes, things in the environment. So we need to be mindful of that and not just assume. Everything, just like with the bow, and because you shoot, you'll get this. How you connect to the bow with your support hand, how you anchor, how you connect to the string. All those same things to create repeatability when the arrow comes to full draw. We're kind of doing the same things with the pistol. So our dominant hand we call the master grip. And the master grip, it can look like anything really. If we think about the principle that we're trying to achieve with the pistol, in the context of self-defense, we've all seen like an old picture of somebody shooting a gun like this. We can shoot really accurate. Bullseye shooters are shooting groups this big at 50 yards like this, but we need that to stand up to somebody trying to hurt us. So you probably wouldn't stand there in the parking lot, fighting some bad guys doing this. So we want to get really strong behind the gun. One, so it can't get ripped away from us, but two, the main thing, as we present the gun to whatever we're looking at, just like shooting the bow, you're looking at your target and you come to full draw, we want to be able to have repeatability so that as I punch the pistol out in front of me, I don't have the sights misaligned. That all starts in the holster, or if we had the gun on a bench, when I pick it up, I develop a master grip. There's a lot of schools of thought on how you do this. The main thing is as I present the pistol in front of me, the sights, or if there's a red dot on it, is aligned on my target. So you've got a unloaded pistol on you. I'll get rid of the blue gun and we'll use our training pistol, or our real pistols here instead of the training pistol. So go ahead and present that in front of you. Always a good practice. I know you know this, and ensure the gun's empty. So I say 3 points: chamber, breech face, mag well. If we do this, we're never going to accidentally have a loaded gun when we assume it's unloaded. So go ahead and just close the slide. A couple things as we're manipulating a gun: finger high off the trigger. That way we're never going to have some type of sympathetic grasp response, which has been documented thousands of times. So high off the trigger where I can see all the way through the trigger guard. Got it. This is super important. You got sons, I have kids, grandkids. We're going to pass these skills on to our kids, and something as lazy as that can end up with that by mistake. So as we develop this master grip, we want it to be achieved in the holster so that as we draw the gun out, we're not having to manipulate it. So web of our hand into the beaver tail. And so touch points, right? We use touch points. If I am contacted, I have a mental checkpoint in my head. Okay, I'm touching where I need to touch. The next spot, if you look at my middle finger, not flicking off your viewers here, that middle finger, and I just got off a 5-day training class, I've got a big worn out spot which doesn't exist on my other finger. I've got a worn out spot here which doesn't exist here, and that's from this hitting the pistol and my middle finger jamming into that trigger guard. So I get 2 touch points there. And we use this term high up on the grip, and tight. Tight, not just squeezing it tight, but I have no space. And the reason being, we'll build that grip real quick and then we'll talk about it. So in the holster, verify that you're up high, and as you grip down around the trigger guard, you're tight around the pistol and there's no space. And then with this holster, as we talked about back at the house, your thumb goes onto that release. Go ahead and pull the gun out of the holster and orient it towards the target. Perfect. So go ahead, you can do what you just were doing. That was great, Clay. So gun's in front of you. So now we think about, we'll take this hand off for a minute. So we've got contact. Now you can repeat that every time because you are going to build this memory of your hands touching there. Now if you line the sights up, just go ahead and line them up on the center of the target we've got out in front of us. If I take this hand, throw this thumb up, and I put a little bit of a forward cant to this hand, and I'm going to kind of make you a little bit more equal in your elbow joints. I'm going to bring this hand back around to touch, and your thumbs are just going to do nothing. They're not pushing on the gun. We want to make sure that we're not using our thumbs to control the gun or accidentally, inadvertently work the controls like the slide lock when we don't want to.
Okay.
Go ahead and punch back out again. That looks pretty good. So grip that gun tight, but relax your wrists. So feel all that movement, but you're squeezing tight. Now lock that wrist forward. You know, that's what we're looking for. Why do I want to hold the gun firmly? Because as a semi-automatic pistol reciprocates, I need the energy from that reciprocation to cycle efficiently to load another round. If my hand is loose or my wrist is loose, that energy is going to be stripped from the mechanical reciprocation into moving the gun, and I'm going to end up with failures to extract, failure to feed, double feed, and people think my gun's broken, and it's no, you're letting it flop around. So
makes sense.
The grip, as we cam this hand forward, I'm not holding the gun. This looks pretty good. If I cam that forward a little bit and I really lock onto the gun here with good pressure, I'm really going to be able to control it well. So if you give me your left hand, I'm going to take your left hand, and I want you, when I tell you go, lock it out like this. So
like
that
down,
just like that, and squeeze my hand hard. I'm going to try to bend your thumb and touch your wrist.
Okay.
Of course, if I do that, I'll break your hand and you'll be pissed, but I bet it won't happen.
It's my bow hand.
I'm going to try to bend your thumb and touch your wrist. Ready? I'll move your whole body, right? So I'm way stronger than the 9mm. So if we cam this hand forward and clamp down, the gun is going to reciprocate very efficiently and very smoothly. That looks real good. All right, so Drawstroke. We're using outside the waistband holsters. Of course, if we're carrying concealed, we'd have a cover garment, but I think we should all probably start with an outside the waistband holster. Most people that shoot themselves accidentally with a pistol that are training like this do it coming in and out of the holster. When we draw the pistol, we think about what's the context. Well, I might need to draw this to shoot some person that's trying to hurt me or my family. I'm going to compound going to the gun with my dominant hand, and I'm going to bring my support hand to the center of my body so that as I draw, I join. And this is a really important touch point right here, is the support hand I'm going to touch, and as I punch the gun out, I roll forward. And so I need to touch that in the same spot. So why don't we try that for a second, just that touch point, so that we've got that. So as that happens, if I'm reloading, my gun goes empty, I reload, I run the slide forward, I've got that touch point.
You've done this before.
The support hand is coming to the center of your body, not just so that you don't shoot it, but as this gun presents towards the target, I can grip and punch the gun out. So we'll try that. So we use a 4-position draw stroke. 1, dominant hand goes to the gun, the support hand comes to the center of the body. 2, the gun clears the holster, starts orienting out in front of us. 3, we make contact, and 4, we punch it out to what we're looking at. And then I add this. 3, 2, I verify the trigger guard's clear, I verify my holster's clear, and my finger stays high off the trigger, and I recover to the holster. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, trigger guard's clear, holster's clear, then that smooths out to just one continuous motion. Make sense? So let's try it. 1, dominant hand goes to the gun, support hand comes to the center line of the body. 2, gun probably is pointed somewhere about here. 3, you got that touch point. 4, punch it out. Now then we can add this. 3, the gun comes straight back in. We call that compress ready. 2, verify everything's unloaded. And one thing we don't ever want to do is orient the gun towards us as we're holstering. So I even had people pop their hip away so that that gun is no way pointed towards us. We don't put our fingers on the trigger as we're coming in and out of the holster. So guys going back to the holster sometimes, being mindless, that happens. You know, in this position, I'd probably shoot the round into the ground next to me, but if I'm on concrete, I'm going to get shrapnel and, you know, all kinds of stuff into my foot. So 1, hand comes to the center line of the body. 2, 3, back to the holster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, compress straight back. 2, 1. In fact, one more thing as we started, we said the context of this is protecting ourselves. So if I decide I'm going to draw the gun, my body posture falls into, some people say, a natural fighting stance or a natural action stance. My buddy Paul Sharp, who lives down in Boise, by the way, he says, imagine you're standing in a river. Not one that's got enough pressure to like sweep you away, but one maybe where you've got to push into the flow a little bit so your weight comes over your toes slightly. So if I know I'm going to draw, I can take myself there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear, and holster. So try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Questions on any of that?
I think I got it.
Cool. Let's throw our ears on.
Okay.
Now, if I'm training with guns and the gun's getting loaded, I always put eyes and ears on because accidents happen. So now we'll load them and we'll get ready to shoot here. So I'm going to present the pistol, my slide's already locked back, I cant the mag well inboard, seat lock, tug, cycle, press check. I can grab up front too like a claw. I don't want to put my hand, of course, in front of the muzzle. Tap, tap, finger straight, safe to holster. So your gun is loaded and in the holster. So here's how we'll drill this. So we got our eyes and ears on. I'll demo. We'll just fire 1 round at a time. It'll look like this. So now we're going to fire live ammo. 1, 2, 3, being mindful of that touch point. 4, and I build a sight picture. My finger goes to the trigger. Fire the gun, finger straight. Trigger guard's clear, my holster's clear. I'm not in a rush to race the gun back in, so I'm not doing this. Just like shooting the bow, I want to follow through, see what's happening out in front of me, and then I make a conscious decision not to shoot. I'm done. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear. So let's fire 1 round. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Finger straight. Verify the holster's empty. So let's try 2 rounds. So it'll be the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a conscious decision not to shoot, finger straight, recover to the holster. So we'll try 2 rounds now. 1, 2, 3. 3 rounds. And now as we start to fire more, we see if our grip is helping us. So I'm going to do a less than desirable grip, and we'll watch. Probably will miss because as I shoot, the gun's going to rise up in recoil. Well, I got good hits, but you saw the gun flopping around, right? So what we're looking for as a bystander, or as you're shooting, are my sights doing this? Is the front sight flipping up, or is it, there's going to be some movement? Is it staying pretty well aligned in front of me? Is it tracking forward and back, or is it tipping up? So it's your job to observe that and make adjustments. So try 3 rounds. So you see how your shots are pushing slightly to the left of center? Mm-hmm. So 2 things, maybe 3. 1, my sights are misaligned. I don't think they are on that gun. 2, you're misaligning the sights. Or the last thing, if I grab the blue gun, if you watch with the blue gun, so if I start to squeeze this trigger and I tighten these fingers, same with the bow, the gun's gonna move to the left. So if I was a lefty, as I'm squeezing the trigger, look at the muzzle.
Yeah.
So same thing, we want to keep consistent grip pressure on the bow. Same thing happens with the pistol. So we got to make sure, you might have a perfect sight picture, and as you're pressing the trigger, it's slowly pushing it, and it happens right as the shot breaks, so you don't see it happening. Yeah. So we'll try this again. This time, drive a little bit more weight forward. So check this out. We start to talk about stance. So watch my body. I'm just going to stand quite erect. You see I kind of blowing like a loose fence post. So if I blade myself slightly, my pelvis and chest is square to the target. The reason that we're putting ourselves square to the target is I'm putting as much meat behind the gun as possible from a physics standpoint. If I turn myself, the gun has a tendency to spin my body on the spine. So I showed you standing straight, the body started to rock. So if I get a little bit more forward weight bias, I can really run the gun. So let's try that real quick. Nice. So on that, step forward, talking about body posture and stuff. So we work and make it all as good as we can, and then you start to think about the technique over the principle. The principle would be, I'm sorry, the principle over the technique. The principle is I'm driving my weight forward into the gun. The technique would be have my feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, slight bend to the knees, nose over toes, pop your pelvis back. I can emulate all that, but the principle's still there even on one foot, right? I only show that one, it looks cool. Always gets a laugh too. No, it illustrates that you don't have to have some perfect body posture. As long as I'm got good forward bias, my arms are strong behind the gun, I'm not letting my wrists and elbows flop around, you can run it pretty efficiently. Do it again. Send 3 as fast as you can press the trigger. That's nice. So you got that little head swinger target up there. It's 5 inches. So there's a hard spot in the trigger before it breaks. Mm-hmm. Some people call it a wall. So as we're learning to press the trigger well, if we come to that wall, I'll clear my gun out so we can see that. So I'm at the wall, then I can just come back smooth, 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 and break the shot. So I'm removing all that extra trigger movement up front, and then it's smooth, smooth, smooth. Try that. So line it up, come to that wall, smooth, smooth, smooth. Look at that, baby, you hit it. Let's try it again. Send it the other way. There you go, do it again. Excellent, do it again. So you're hitting a little left of center. There you go. Now you send it around. Now I'll send it around. I always like to end with accuracy. One of my mentors, Bob Housingay, national champion, the purpose of a gun or a bow is to hit something, not just shoot stuff. So he always said, start and end all training with accuracy. So you've got the fuller mag in there now. So why don't you finish with at least 3 good hits on that little swinger.
Okay.
So we can instill good hits. Good. Make it up. Good. One more. Awesome. How we unload these guns is just as important as anything else. People get shot all the time with unloaded guns that are not unloaded. So I remove the source of ammunition, I cycle the slide, and then I visually, and if needed physically, so if I need to stick my finger in there, I can. It's bright and sunny. I inspect the chamber, the breech face, the mag well. I look away, I look back. Chamber, breech face, mag well, and then whatever I'm gonna do with the gun, put it in a bag or the holster or whatever I do.
All right guys, so this was a very different video than what I normally put up, but I had a heck of a good time and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to do this again.
the one vehicle in 8 hours that goes by.
So if you're interested in this pistol rifle self-defense training, be sure to check out Mickey's channel, Carry Trainer. I'm going to put the link in the video description. I'll put a link to his website and then also the podcast that he does, which is very good, which I was on a little while back. Had a good time talking to you. So
that's great. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
That's how you sign off. We'll see you guys next time.
See y'all on the next adventure.
That's what you say?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it?
See y'all on the next adventure.
All right, that's better. Did you hear the gunfire?
Yeah, when I was at the house.
Dump the mag. Nice.
I like it.